Right, good evening everybody and welcome to the first iteration of the brand new Inner East Community Committee. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Councillor Luke Farley. I was elected as the chair of the Community Committee, and I'd like to thank you all for your support in that. The Community Committee consists of Bermontoft and Richmond Hill Ward, Gipton and Hare Hills, Killingbeck and Seacroft, and brand new for the year 25-26, our fantastic colleagues in Roundhay. So welcome. So this meeting is one where members of the committee have an opportunity to come together, discuss and make decisions about the services and priorities for the local area, and to also consider the funding applications for local projects and youth activities across the 4 wards. Can I just remind everybody that today's meeting is being streamed live on the City Council's YouTube page, and I'm sure there are tens of thousands of people who are eagerly tuning in to watch. So good evening to everybody out there. I am now going to invite members and officers to introduce yourselves, and I would ask that once you've spoken, please do switch your microphone off, because otherwise you'll end up caught on camera for the rest of the evening. So I'll start with Councillor Khan on my left.
Good evening everyone, Councillor Asghar Khan, Councillor for Bermontoft and Richmond Hill Ward.
And good evening everyone, Councillor Manaka for Bermontoft and Richmond Hill.
Hello everybody, Councillor Katie Dye, Killingbeck and Seacroft.
Councillor John Tudor, Killingbeck and Seacroft Ward.
Good evening everybody, I'm Councillor David Jenkins from Killingbeck and Seacroft Ward.
Hi, good evening everybody, I'm Councillor Salma Arif, one of the councillors for Gipton and Hare Hills.
Good evening everybody, Councillor Asghar Ali representing Gipton and Hare Hills.
Good evening everyone, Councillor Zara Hussain, Councillor for Roundhay.
Good evening everybody, Councillor Jordan Bowden representing Roundhay Ward, and thank you for the welcome.
Hello everyone, Councillor Lisa Martin, Roundhay Ward also.
Stuart Byrne, Communities team here in support of the meeting.
I'm Robbie Hawley, I'm also part of the Communities team.
Hi everyone, I'm Natasha and I'm the clerk to the meeting.
And immediately back to you. Can you go through items 1 to 5, please?
Thanks, Chair. So, agenda item 1, there's no appeals. Agenda item 2, no exempt items. Agenda item 3, no formal late items, but members have received the supplementary information that I emailed and have popped copies on your desk. Agenda item 4, members to declare any interest. Thank you. And agenda item 5, have not received any apologies.
Okay, so now we move on to agenda item number 6, which is the open forum. So this is a period of up to 10 minutes, which may be allocated to ordinary members of the public to make representations or to ask questions on matters within the terms of reference for the Community Committee. No member of the public can speak for more than 3 minutes in the open forum, except by permission of the chair. And I can't see any members of the public here this evening. So just before we do move on to agenda item number 7, I'm going to ask your indulgence just to note our thanks to Oliver Taylor, who was our previous localities officer and did an incredible job working on behalf of the previous Inner East Community Committee, and also to pass on our thanks to Zahir Lunat, who served the Roundhay Committee. I think sometimes, quite often, we tend to forget all of the amount of work that goes into making not just these meetings happen, but so much across our local communities. And it is thanks to localities officers that this stuff does happen. I'd also like to note our welcome to Robbie, who's our new officer. and I'm sure he's going to regret picking the Inner East. But so yeah, I'd just like to put that on record. Thank you. Okay, so we're now going to move on to agenda item number 7, which is the chair's role profile, and over to you.
Thank you, Chair. So I'd just like to bring to members' attention agenda item number 7, which is the Chair's role profile, and also the Chair's roles and responsibility, which has been brought before the committee following the completion of the Operational Community Committee review. Is there any questions on the agenda item 7? If not, I shall move on. Thank you. On to agenda item 8, which is the Champion's role profile. Again, this has come on the back of the Operational Community Committee review. So members are asked to note, also there is on pages 15 to 17, the Children's Services role profile, a Community Safety role profile on pages 19 to 20, and a Health, Wellbeing, Adult Social Care on pages 21 to 22. Now, included in your pack, there is a supplementary item, which includes the Environmental role profile. So we will now be asking for champion nominations for each 4 of those delivery groups. So I'll open up to members now to put themselves forward for the championed roles.
Shall we just start with the environmental champion? Who wants to do that? So Councillor Khan has nominated himself. Councillor Arif has seconded him. Are we all happy with that? Can I see your hands, please? Everybody's hands up. Fantastic. So I think next we've got the community safety.
I'd like to nominate myself for that. I currently chair the Clearhole Build that represents both Birmingham and Richmond Hill and Gipton and Hare Hills, and it's something I'd like to just take a little bit further perhaps, and I've got good relationships with the police, so I'm happy to take on that role if colleagues agree. Thank you.
Okay, everybody happy with that? Yeah. Fab. So I think next we will do children's. Any nominations? Councillor Manaka, is that for yourself? Or? Okay, are we all happy with Councillor Manaka being children's? Yep. And then finally, it is older persons and adult social care champion.
Is it health and wellbeing as well?
And health and wellbeing, yeah. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, it's health and wellbeing.
Health and wellbeing, yes.
Am I okay to ask for why?
If you wish.
Yeah, just with me being a support exec member with Fiona Venner this year. So, for instance, I was in a meeting about children with lead poisoning, and so I think the role I've got at the moment would complement this role.
And we're all happy? Yeah. Right, fantastic. That was very speedy. Well done, everybody. So we now move on to agenda item number 9. Which is the Inner East Community Committee Delivery Group nominations. So let me just look in my notes. Robbie, do you want to take us through the delivery groups?
Yes, certainly. Thank you, Chair. So the first delivery group is the Children's Services. So we'd now like to appoint representatives, preferably one from each ward, if members would like to put themselves forward.
Okay, so we'll count the champions as the representatives for their own ward. So Councillor Manaka is the children's champion. So Seacroft, Councillor Dye? Yes.
So there's one place for each ward, and there are 4 places, so somebody would have 2, is that right? So if we're choosing from Killingbeck and Seacroft somebody to be on the delivery group for children's services, some to be on health and wellbeing, some to be community safety, and some to be environment, in the past it's been nice and neat because we've had 3 So now we've got four.
Yes.
Somebody takes two groups. That's all I'm asking.
Yes,
Is that how it works?
that would be the case. Yes. So children's. So Councillor Hussain for Roundhay for children's. Gibson. Councillor Arif. Yep. And just to note, obviously, as chair, I'll be attending all of the four groups ex officio. Shall we move? Yes, we're afraid we are waiting. Who wants to do children's?
What was the question? Children's. So shall I do children's? Okay, I'll do children's.
Great. Yes, yeah, next.
Thank you. So the next delivery group is health, wellbeing and adult social care. So we have a champion from Roundhay. So with the other three wards. Councillor Manaka, thank you. Kenbeck and Seacroft. Councillor Jenkins. And finally Gibson and Herrills.
Next is community safety. So Councillor Khan for Bermontoffs.
Thank you.
Councillor Martin. And then so community safety. And Councillor Jenkins.
Thank you, Chair. Lovely. And the last one is environment.
Councillor Bowden.
Councillor Bowden for Roundhay, thank you.
Councillor Dye. Hare Hills. Environment. Councillor Ali. Yep. Fantastic. So, that's all of the delivery groups developed. Shall we just have a quick run through so everybody knows what they're doing?
I'll leave that to Tasha. Have you written them all down, Tasha?
I hope so.
Right.
We'll soon find out.
Okay, let's see.
No pressure. So children's, we've got Councillor Zara Hussain, Salma Arif, Kate Dye, I think Manaka.
Yes.
And then health and wellbeing, Manaka, Bowden, Jenkins and Ellie. Asgar Ellie.
Yep.
And then community safety, we've got Martin, Khan, Jenkins. Did we have a thought?
And Arif as champion.
Perfect. And then environment, we've got Khan, Bowden, Dye and Asgar Ellie.
No, it's Martin.
Martin's community.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm sure
Is that right?
Yes, I think we're all
Perfect. So Khan, Bowden, yourself and Asgar Ellie. I think that's right.
Fantastic, thank you. That's why we clerk these meetings. We are now going to move on to agenda item number 10, which relates to Community Committee co-opted member profile.
Thank you, Chair. So contained within the report is a Community Committee co-optee members profile for members to note and review. If there's any comments on that, I'll take those now.
Fab, thank you. So, yeah, the next agenda item is number 11, which is Community Committee appointments for 25-26. Tash.
Thanks, Chair. So this is the annual report. This is City Solicitor, which requests members to provide nominations for the appointments listed on page 30 of the agenda pack at paragraph 6. So I'll probably just go through them one by one, and I'll just list the current appointees, and if anybody else wants to do it or if that member wants to remain, just let me know, but we'll go through them one by one. So the first one we don't actually need to review for Chapeltown Citizens Advice, just because we reviewed that in 2023. It's a three-yearly appointment and it's next due for review in 2026, so we don't need to do that one today. And then the next one, Richmond Hill LD Action, Councillor Manaka, that's currently yourself. Are you happy to remain on that one? Thank you. And then Community Action for Roundhay Elderly, Councillor Zara Hussain. That's yourself. Are you? Yeah, thank you. And then we'll move on to the clusters. So we've got the Together cluster. That's currently Councillor Asgharelli. Are you happy and everybody happy for you to remain on that one? Thank you. And then the ARM Roundhay. This requires a Roundhay representative. It's currently Zara Hussain. Are you fine with that one? Yeah. And then the Inner East. So we've currently got Councillors Khan and Asgharelli. Are you both happy to remain on that one? Yeah. And then Seacroft Manston, Councillor Jenkins.
Yes, it hasn't met for about 3 years.
I will feed that information back. And then moving on to the local care partnerships. So the first one is the Seacroft, Crossgates and York Road one. So for Seacroft, Councillor Jenkins, that's currently yourself. Are you happy?
I mean, Crossgates isn't an old purview, really. So I think it must be a different else.
It's the boundaries, how it's split. So within that one, it covers Seacroft.
Yeah. Well, if anybody else wants to, particularly from Councillor Berman-Thompson.
Well,
I mean,
it's in place. Councillor Khan's on there already.
Yeah, Chair, thank you. I think myself and David have been attending these meetings. It's the York Road piece. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm happy to remain on that one as well. And next meeting is next Tuesday, by the way, Winery Centre.
So moving on, we've got the Hatch. So this covers Hare Hills and then Bermontoffs and Richmond Hill as well. So thank you, Councillor Asgharelli and Councillor Manaka. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And then last but not least, the Corporate Parenting Board. So currently we have yourself, Councillor Manaka.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end of that report.
Okay, thank you. So next on the agenda we've got item number 12, which is the Inner East Community Committee forward plan for 25-26.
Thank you.
Yourself.
Thank you, Chair. So members are asked to note the Inner East Community Committee forward plan. This has replaced the former update report. So going forward, this will be populated with the work that has carried out since the last committee meeting through the 4 delivery groups. And the champion will provide an update at each community committee meeting as to what work has taken place. So there's no information at present as we put those delivery groups in, that'll be populated for the next meeting. Is there any questions on the report?
Councillor Khan.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. You know, going forward, forward plan for 25-26, how often these meetings going to be taking place, and who's going to be organising, coordinating those meetings?
So with the meetings, in the roles and responsibilities, there's a minimum of 3. So we'll have a minimum of 3 delivery groups. Following the meeting, the exec board member will be meeting with the champions. So that meeting will take place, and then we'll look at setting local priorities, and then we'll have a delivery group and then we'll look as a group sort of what work streams we're going to take forward, and then that will feed into the forward plan report we bring before the committee. Does that answer your question?
Just to say that the actual organisation of those formal delivery groups will be done through our office as well.
Councillor Reith.
Thank you. I've got a question. This forward plan, is it solely just for the groups themselves?
So the forward plan is a report that I'll bring. So that will include information as to what's work's taking place through the delivery group. So there'll be an update for children's health and wellbeing and the other two, but it will just be focused on the Inner East Community Committee and brought before the committee.
And if I'm not mistaken, that report ought to be delivered by the champion itself rather than the officer, is that right?
I will draft the report I'll draft the report, obviously, with the champion. So I'll do the writing, but it will be the champion that will speak at the meeting and say what work has taken place.
Great, thank you. Are we all happy with that? Just for anybody who might be watching out there, I think the new delivery group system for community committees is going to offer us a real opportunity as elected members to take a real sort of strategic view over what's happening across the 4 wards, and really offer much greater, delivery and outcome. So this should be a really exciting opportunity to actually do some work on the ground and set out plans for the local area that we can then measure ourselves against going forwards. So I am very excited about the prospect of the delivery groups and being able to see what we can achieve working together, working with our communities and delivering for communities. So without prattling on, our next item would be agenda item number 13, which is the finance cover report.
Thank you, Chair. So members are asked to note there is a finance cover report. So within the cover report, that does just detail that unfortunately we've not been able to bring a full finance breakdown within the finance report. Leeds City Council has recently moved to a new financial system, which means we've not been able to sign off the carry forward figures for 24-25. So that will follow on. Is there any questions on that before we move on to the finance report? Okay. Thank you. So I'll move on to the finance report on agenda item 14.
51.
50. Is it agenda item 30? Sorry.
That was the final. That was a cover report. It's.
So members are asked to note on page 52 there is the funding decisions, how they previously operated in the Inner East Community Committee, and then on page 53 point 14 we will be asking members how they wish to allocate this year's funding for wellbeing, youth activity funds, capital and the community infrastructure levy. So I think we have discussed that previously with regards to wellbeing and YAF. So are members all happy to vote on the basis that has been already discussed?
So obviously we've had conversations prior to this meeting about the format and how we will articulate the budgets of the committee going forwards. So prior to this, we discussed looking at balancing the budget based on both population deprivation for wellbeing and numbers of children aged 8 to 17 within the individual areas. So are we happy on the question of wellbeing? Are we happy to arrange the budget with reference to deprivation and population size? Okay, that's consensus. Are we happy to arrange the YAF budget with relation to the numbers of 8 to 17-year-olds in each ward? Okay, that's agreed in MCon. We've got SIL, the Community Infrastructure Levy. Now that one's slightly different, isn't it? Because that's based on area development.
Yeah, that's correct, Chair. So it is based on area development. But again, it is a budget that's delegated to the committee. So it is a committee decision whether each individual wards want to keep their receipts or if that is pulled in one pot. So I'll put that back out to members. So
I think following on with the theme of how we've arranged the other budgets, are we happy to allocate based on ward development? Yep. Gibson colleagues, are we happy with that? So, Councillor Bowden?
Yeah, just to get some clarification. So, am I right in thinking, say, so some of the SIL that might have been left over is getting pulled into a pot and then it's getting broken down into deprivation, or are we receiving the former SIL that we had? I just couldn't understand that then, Chair.
No. So whatever your SIL was prior to the new committee, you will carry that over. Sorry, Stuart, do you want to come in?
Yeah. So again, it comes down to how the prior committee manage their SIL pot. So if it was a pooled pot, the previous committee would split it by the number of wards and then get whatever's left. If it was a ward allocation, the carry forward SIL will come across to what's left, will come across to the ward, and will be ring fenced to that ward.
Are we all happy with that? Okay, fab. And then Chris. Do you want to tell us about Chris?
Yes, the final one is Chris. So again, that's a sale of assets, Leeds City Council assets within the ward. I think it's 5% comes through to the committee. So again, it's if you want to keep that on a ward basis, or if you want to pool it. So everyone's saying ward again.
Okay. Are we happy to do ward?
Yeah, we
yep.
hardly have any development in Friday, so very much keep
okay. Are we all happy?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. So on point 16, members are asked to review the minimum conditions. So the minimum conditions are set if a decision needs to be taken outside of a formal committee meeting. So there's A to D of the minimum conditions. So asking members to review those and say if they're happy to take those forward into the new municipal year.
Okay. Are we all happy with that? So that's page 53, item 16, A to D. All good?
All good. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So I'll move on to page 54, which details the wellbeing budget position for 25-26. So Executive Board approved £161,000 and £161,030 for the Inner East Committee. Okay, and at point 22, we've got some wellbeing budget ring fences to consider. So the first one that I'm asking the committee to consider is £1,200 split evenly across the 4 wards for community engagement activities.
Yep, happy with that? Yep, done.
Thank you. The next ring fence is £7,500 for tasking, which the split's detailed in the report, which is across Birmingham, Richard Hill, Gibson Heralds. Yeah, so taskings, the tasking meetings with the police. So I believe some of the areas tie some money for tasking. So if there's various initiatives that come out of that, that money's ring fenced for that. Gosh.
My question is, how much of our Gibson Hare Hills tasking budget was used last year, please? Do we have that information? Sorry.
I have. If you give me 2 minutes, I'll be able to pull the information up.
Councillor Bowden, did you want to?
Yeah, I was just asking. Obviously, round here isn't included on here, and I just was wondering how that might work.
I suspect that's because we have obviously with the new community committee arrangements, the 3 wards that existed prior to Roundhay joining the committee have a shared police team, neighbourhood policing team, whereas Roundhay is covered by, I believe, the North East police team. So I think that's probably where the discrepancy would be.
Yeah, just to add to that, the tasking was added. That was just what was proposed at the first meeting of the last municipal year in the Renary, so I've just carried that onto this one.
So can I make a suggestion that it's moved up to £9,000 and that Roundhay gets an allocation similar to Seacroft? Does that make sense?
Certainly, that's
for us to use
1,500.
Yeah.
Councillor Dye?
Except I'm going to complicate that because we decided, seeing as we didn't spend any tasking money at all last year, we've asked for our ring fence to be taken away for this year.
Okay. So just going forwards, the consideration is for £7,500 to support tasking, and the allocation will be as follows: Bermondsey and Richmond Hill 3,000, Gipton and Hare Hills 3,000, Killingbeck and Seacroft 0, and Roundhay 1,500. Councillor Reef.
Go back to my question about, but I suppose if it's not spent, it goes back into our budget, doesn't it? Regardless. Okay. So sorry, Lisa. Sorry, Councillor Martin. If the money isn't spent by tasking in that financial year, it goes back. It's allocated back to that ward. So it's not. Yeah, it comes back to us regardless.
Yeah, just to help you a little bit, the tasking budget in Bermondsey Richmond Hill last year, we had quite a few initiatives taking place because we had hotspot areas where there was a high number of crimes taking place. One was the Dark Night initiatives, where we made sure we helped the police to buy some, equipment, and like a safety personal alarms and other things. So that helped really well and produced some leaflets as well. So yeah, happy to support this one.
Okay, Councillor Hussain.
Yeah, can I just ask for some clarification? So you've said £3,000 goes to Bermondsey and Richmond Hills, and £3,000 goes to Gipton and Hare Hills, and we get 1,500. Can we get an explanation as to why that is? Why are we getting less than the other 2 wards?
Well, that's what you asked. That's what Councillor Martin suggested. I mean, you can have more out of the allocation. Do you have a response for Councillor Reef?
Yeah, I've not actually got the ward breakdown. I can come back to you with that information. As a committee, 4,100 was spent, but I'll have to come back to you with the breakdown. 4,100.
To be fair, we have used tasking in the bonfire events as well, and sometimes we have done the dark. I'm happy for it to remain. I guess I was questioning, like colleagues in Seacroft, do we need to have that amount of money? But we'll keep it for now, as agreed, because I know we've used it. But perhaps we could, if we know that it's not been used, we can come back next time and amend it if we need to. I
think that's probably a conversation for Gipton and Hare Hills,
okay,
as to kind of how much money you want to. I mean, it is just a ring fence. It's not like if you don't spend it, you lose it. Councillor Martin, did you want to come in? No,
well, it was more what tasking meeting we talk about lots of things to do with community safety, which I can easily spend 1,500. Is it a fairly open thing that you can spend it on as long as it relates to community safety?
Yeah, generally speaking, Councillor Khan gave an example there of we ran several Darker Nights road shows across Bermondsey and Richmond Hill, so it covered like Saxton Gardens, East End Park, Lincoln Green, and Bermondsey, and it's small things that the police might want to purchase to improve community safety, like alarms, like leaflets, and little bits of printing and whatnot. Stuart, did you want to come in?
Just for a bit of further clarity, the reason that the committee has traditionally set aside pots like this is that it allows for decisions to be made much more effectively and quickly between meetings. So if you decide to set up aside a pot for tasking, if then your tasking meeting comes and says we've got something that we'd like to fund, you can get this through quite quickly because it's ring fenced. But it's not spent until you as members authorise that spend. So you would have to sign off on how that's been allocated.
Councillor Bowden?
Yeah, just because of the money's limited, actually, we're just speaking to Councillor Martin, Councillor saying, can we take the 1,500 out? Because I think it's probably useful for us to speak to our Leeds North East colleagues as well, considering it's the same team, and we'll speak to them about it before we ring fence amount of money. Thank you.
Yeah, we can do that. Councillor Jenkins?
We've gone back. We've thought about it and think 500 would be better, because if we only have 3 agents a year, then at least we've got a bit of flexibility now. 500. Yeah.
Okay.
500.
Okay. So,
500,000.
right, you're all banned from questions at this point, or comments. So, the proposal in front of us now, as adjusted, would be a ring fence of 6,500, with 3,000 to Bermontos and Richmond Hill, 3,000 to Gipton and Hare Hills, and 500 to Killingbeck and Seacroft. Are we all content with that ring fencing? Fantastic.
Lovely, thank you for that, Chair. So move on to the wellbeing grant. Sorry, Councillor Rees.
It is about ring fencing, but ordinarily in the past we've had 2 additional ring fenced in Gipton and Hare Hills. One's for the bonfire night activities and also for the Christmas one. Do we know why that's not in here at the moment?
Yes, certainly. I mean, I'm happy to have a look at the Christmas one. I don't think I've got any prices yet for what that will cost. If you want to propose a ring fence, more than happy to take that. Same as with the bonfire. I apologise, I'm not actually aware of that one. But if you want to set a ring fence now, we can set that in the committee.
Could I just, it's fine if you don't have it in front of you now, perhaps we could do it at the next, or we could do that separately outside of this meeting, but I'm just conscious we normally do when we set it aside, works out better for us, for officers, to then just lean into that money.
Yes, and I've got the Christmas in front of me, the Christmas event, and the amount that appears that was spent last year was just short of £1,900. That's actual spend. So I've got.
That they spent more.
Yeah, because there's been more Christmas lights than that. That's
right. Apologies for that. I'll come back with that information. I've got that time.
Okay. So next on the agenda is the wellbeing.
Yep. So I'll move on to the wellbeing grant funded applications for consideration. The first application on point 27 is the Igbo Union Summer 2025. There's the grant request is £1,403.60, and the breakdowns contained within the report for Bermontos, Richmond Hill, Gipton and Hare Hills, and Killingbeck and Seacroft. So we'll put that out to the committee to vote.
Okay. Bermontos, are we happy? Okay. Gipton and Hare Hills?
Chair, no, we've got 38,000 worth of applications come in, and we've not had any communication with this organisation. Happy to talk to them again if they've got the numbers, but there's nothing in there to suggest that there's going to be people from Gipton and Hare Hills. If that's the case, then we can reconsider it. But for now, it's a no.
Any other comments from Gipton? Councillor Ali?
It's a yes from me.
Okay. And Killingbeck and Seacroft, do we have any views?
Yep, it's a yes from us.
Okay, so I think what we'll do first is we'll take a vote on the amount apportioned to Gipton and Hare Hills, and then we'll decide the full amount afterwards. So Gipton and Hare Hills have been requested for £764.40. Those in favour? Those against? Okay, yep. So that's not carried. So the total would be between Bermontos and Richmond Hill £421.20 and £218. So that will be £639.20. Are we happy with that? Yeah. Okay. Yep. So next one is the Inner East holiday provision, which is the youth service. So this is Bermondsey, Richmond Hill, Gipton and Hare Hills and Killingbeck and Seacroft, with 1,116 for BRH and 1,017 for both Gipton and Hare Hills, and same again for Killingbeck and Seacroft. Councillor Bowden?
Hi, Chair. Yeah, just with it being a Leeds City Council youth service, could I please request that Roundhay children be included in some capacity? It's a bit frustrating coming to a meeting and then Roundhay not being involved at all, if that's possible.
I suspect that bid itself has come from the youth service. So I think you guys would probably need to speak to your youth team about putting a bid in to support their activities. So this obviously the Inner East Youth Service covers the 3 wards. Councillor Martin.
Yes, thank you. Since it's been decided that we're part of this committee, can we ask Robbie to speak to the relevant officer and tell them that we're part of this committee, and can he please, or they please, provide a service for children in Roundhay? Thank you.
Okay. So the bid itself, Bermondsey, we're happy. Gipton, are we happy? Killingbeck and Seacroft? Yep. Okay, I will take that as consent. Go ahead. Next up is item number 29, which is laptops. Complex investigations at Leeds District. And the amount proposed is 2,000, and that's split between Bermondsey and Richmond Hill, Gipton and Hare Hills, and Killingbeck and Seacroft again. BRH 666.67, Gipton and Hare Hills 5 6s, and the same for Killingbeck and Seacroft. Councillor Bowden?
Yeah, we've done quite extensive work on domestic violence, and being that this isn't specifically, for instance, like the Leeds East police team, again, can we please piggyback on this? We'll more than happy give the same amount of money, but we think this would be really worthwhile if something like this was done in Roundhay as well, if that's possible.
Just to add to that, I can feed that back. This was submitted by the MPT team that covers East. So currently within that is the previous committee's area. So this has gone to the Outer East Committee on Tuesday, and then it's been brought to the Inner East. So they're purchasing laptops for that MPT team that covers that geographical area. Obviously, with the MPT team for your area, I'm happy to pick that conversation up and look at.
Councillor Martin, did you want to come in?
Yeah, just to reinforce what Councillor Bowden said, at the PAC meetings, I'm constantly asking for domestic violence breakdown figures. We talk it and get dismissed for all sorts of good reasons for the police not being able to get that. East seem to be able to get it. So sorry to complicate your job, because you've now got to work across 2 police teams, but if you could do that for us, that would be great. Thank you.
Might I suggest that might be something for the community safety working group, because I know obviously it's a serious issue across all wards. So with regards to Councillor Carr, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Happy to support. Great initiative. Can I just ask Robbie to put a clause in that these laptops stays within the Inner East area as well, so they don't dish out to other part of the Leeds as well. So, because we've given money for these laptops, and they can be, yeah.
Okay. So obviously they're going to be used kind of within the wider East area, So it might be solving Kippax crimes. So Bermondsey and Richmond Hill happy, Killingbeck Seacroft, and Gipton Hills. Cool. So we are, Councillor.
There's a slight mistake there. No, we are not funding the laptop project for Seacroft. We're going to deal with a later application from the MPT that's not come yet instead. Right.
So you're not happy to put forward you're not happy to fund this.
That's correct.
Okay. So so both Bermondsey and Richmond Hill and Gipton and Hare Hills are happy. So reduce it by 666.
Okay, so just to confirm on that the grant, you'll just be paying for the wards?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. So next up, we have got another one from the police is Leeds East Crime Reduction, and this project is 2,266, and that will be split Bermondsofts and Richmond Hill, £755.33, Gipton and Harehills, £755 and 34 pence, and Killingbeck and Seacroft, £755 and 33 pence. So this is around improving community safety with regards to targeted action for those who have been victims of crime or their premises are in close proximity to properties that have been burgled, and engagement events promoting crime reduction. Do we have any comments or questions on this one? Councillor Reif?
Yeah, more than happy. This clearly impacts our ward in Gipton Harehills. More than happy to support it. Could I kindly ask if there's a request, perhaps 6 months down the line, if we can get an update on this project for officers to come in and just, even if it's 10 minutes, so this is the work that they've been carried out? But otherwise, happy to support it.
Absolutely. And in your new position as community safety champion, you might want to have a focus on this crime prevention work. Because obviously, there's a lot of key issues that are springing up across the different wards, and actually having this sort of strategic feedback would be really helpful. Stuart?
Chair, I just wanted to say that one of the conversations that happened with the Outer East Committee is around that delivery group taking a more strategic view around the sort of the applications that do come from the police and having discussions with their MPT. So it's something that yourselves could do within your community safety delivery group as well.
Okay, so Bermondsofts and Richmond Hill, are we happy? Yes. Councillor Martinelli.
Just to echo what Councillor Arif said, I'd like to see some deliverables from this project as well. Some, not just updates, but some actual deliverables, something a little bit more concrete.
Sorry, Councillor Martin?
Yeah, just to reiterate, we're now part of this community committee. It doesn't fit with the police makeup, but nonetheless, we've got to make it fit. So sorry to give you another job. Either yourself, or I don't know whether it's Councillor Arif, and to make sure that our police teams are protecting our citizens in the same way they are in Inner East. Thank you.
Just to reassure you, I did actually flag this with the police, following on from our dry run meeting, and I have asked that there's closer coordination, because obviously what we don't want, the former Inner East Community Committee and Round Day, we don't want you guys to just be sort of like tagged on. We want you to be part of this. So with that in mind, item 30. So Bermondsofts are happy, Gipton and Harehills are happy, Seacroft. Yes. So, yep, that agreed for the full amount. Item 31 is transfer of a CCTV asset. So this is from Leeds Watch to Bermondsofts and Richmond Hill. So this is moving from the Leeds Watch team over to the Serious Environmental Crime team. And this is just for Bermondsofts and Richmond Hill. Councillor Khan, did you want to...
Yeah, I just want to say I'm delighted to support this application, because we've been asking for this CCTV camera to be installed. Well, it's already installed, but it needs to be handed over to SECT team for further investigation. Yes, delighted to, Chair.
Okay, so Councillor Manaka, we're all happy?
All happy, Chair.
Okay, Councillor Bowden, did you want to...
Can I formally ask, where did this CCTV get found at the back of a couch? Because we funded this something similar. It cost us a lot more than this figure. I mean, it's really exciting that you've managed to get it for such a low cost. Yeah. Where was this kept? Because I would also like one. For 1,900.
I suspect you're probably going to have a conversation with a combination of chief officers. Yeah, so we're happy to approve that from Bermondsofts. Okay, next up we've got item 32, which is event management and coordination for Lark in the Park and Bermondsofts Communities Festival. We are happy with that. Yep. 33, building bridges, changing lives, which is Greenwood Housing Cooperative and Leeds Redistributive Collective, and they've asked for 1,050 from the committee, from 150 from Bermondsey and Richmond Hill, 450 from Gipton and Hare Hills, and 450 from Killingbeck and Seacroft. Do we have any comments on this, Councillor Reif?
Yeah, Chair, we're happy to fund them, but to the tune of 150. We've not really had any communication from them. I think I am aware of what they do, but for now, happy to fund them because I know some of the activity, but it wouldn't be the full £450 that they've asked for. That's my proposal.
I second that.
So 450 from 150 from Gipton and Hare Hills. Councillor Martin, Nally, do you have any comments?
I don't know the organisation, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm happy to go with that.
Okay, so all agreed on 150. No, they've asked for 150.
150?
Yeah, that's just the request they've made. Killingbeck and Seacroft?
We have agreed to that one. At the 450, we have agreed. Yes. Yes.
Bermondsey's colleagues, I don't know this. Okay, so that's 150 from Bermondsey and Richmond Hill, 150 from Gipton and Hare Hills, and 450 from Killingbeck and Seacroft. So next up we have got item 34, which is Aerotrain Cultural Centre in Leeds, and the request is for £750 from the Bermondsey and Richmond Hill wards. Are we happy, colleagues? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Leeds Barrio Fiesta, and the request is from the Filipino Leeds community for £1,000, and from Bermondsey and Richmond Hill. We're happy with that. Okay. Item 36, now this does include all of us, is the Prince Philip Centre PHAB Club Staffing and Entertainment for 25-26. And the requested amount from the committee is £17.81 and 27 pence. BRH is £127.24. Gipton and Hare Hills £254.48. Killingbeck and Seacroft £890.61 pence, and Roundhere £508 and 94 pence. Any comments or? So Gipton, are you guys happy? Yeah. Roundhere, are you guys?
So, let me just, sorry, normally we get a lot of information about what it's going to be spent on and how much for each thing. So it's to pay the wages of youth and community worker and adult social care worker.
Stuart, John Suva.
Yeah.
So this is an application that tends to come every year, and it's a citywide provision that's run out of the Prince Philip Centre, and it provides I think it's a weekly group for physically disabled people, and the way that they seek funding each year is that they look at their attendance and where they come from, and then put in a pro-rated. So it's their pro-rated amount, and as I say, I think it works out quite a lot per person, but it's a weekly activity.
Okay, Roundhere colleagues, are you happy with that? Yeah. Bermondsey and Richmond Hill. Killingbeck and Seacroft.
Very happy.
Okay, that is consensus. So next up is item 37, which is the Samangal Senior Connect project, and they're asking for £488. From BRH is £24.40, Gipton and Hare Hills £244, and Roundhay is £219.60. Any comments or Councillor Bowden?
Thanks, Chair. Just again, is the amounts proposed by each ward a representative of the people attending? Okay.
Okay, Councillor Martin.
Yeah, thank you. Whereabouts is it? And is it normal for groups like this to come and speak to the councillors and say, because I've never heard of them. Thank you.
Yeah, again, I think this is a citywide application. Normally this would have been dealt via the small grant process. Obviously, since the AGMs took place, we've not been able to approve small grants. So I think my colleague Alicia has sent it out, and then we brought it to the meeting. I've not got any further information at this time. Obviously, if you do want to defer anything, we can approve it via email following the conclusion of this meeting.
Thanks. Councillor Arif?
Yeah, I tried my best to look up these guys and I couldn't find them in our neck of the woods. I do think it is a citywide application, but it's difficult really. In essence, I agree with what they're doing, but we've got something extremely similar that we've just funded in Hamwatton, which is the lunch clubs. And I've just looked online. I think that this particular group also gets funded by the Leeds Community Foundation. So it's difficult for me I feel as though to agree on this one because I really don't know where they're delivering the lunch club. So it's probably no, unless I know that they're delivering some specific stuff in Gibson, Hare Hills, which I can't find at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any other comments?
Yeah, just following Councillor Arif's intervention. Yeah, if no one's heard of them, let's seek more information and have a look at the original application and understand what it is a bit more. Thank you.
So your proposal is to defer. Gibson colleagues, is that where you guys are at?
It looks like Dance on Sumangai held at the Montague Burton Resource Centre in Hare Hills. So it's a week hourly long dance session. But it might also be a lunch club.
Okay, I mean, I've never heard of this, and I can't. Councillor Khan, have you got any thoughts?
Well, I've never heard of this organisation. I've been elected as a councillor the last 14 years. So I think let's defer it, get further information, and then we can make a decision at the next committee meeting, Chair.
Okay, so proposal is to defer. Are we all happy with that? Councillor Jenkins, can you just turn your microphone off, please?
Sorry?
On the naughty list already, Councillor Jenkins. So next on the agenda, we've got item 38, which is the Leeds Bangladeshi Elderly Forum, and they've requested £2,100 from the Gipton and Hare Hills ward. Colleagues?
Very happy to fund, Chair.
Okay. Yep, all good. Next up, we've got 39, which is Anshallah Let Dream Big, which is £1,000 from the Gipton and Hare Hills ward again, and that's for a workshop at Shine. Colleagues?
No communication from this organisation as to what exactly they'll be. I think it says transport. Shine's quite locally located in terms of for local residents to get there. Happy to again have a conversation as to what they're doing, and there is really not a lot of information in terms of where that £1,000 is going to be spent. So deferring it until we get more information, please.
Councillor Ali?
Is this a sewing club?
So it's item number 39, which is Anshallah Let Dream Big. And the description is, the grant will be used to provide materials, venues and transport for participants to attend a workshop at Shine on the 4th of July.
Can I just have a moment to check something? Because if it's the sewing club, then I know what it is. And then I've been in contact with quite a few of it.
Yeah.
It is a sewing club. They provide sewing lessons to predominantly women from a migrant background, a lot of refugee women, a lot of newer immigrant communities. It's a real, so we get a lot of African communities, a lot of Kurdish, a lot of very, very new migrant communities, and it's they have a creche there. They have sewing lessons. They're teaching people valuable life skills. They have been in contact. Ollie went down and visited them and actually helped fill in this grant application. So very happy to support this one.
Okay. Councillor Reif?
Like I said, I'm not saying no. Would like to go see them. Ollie's not communicated that he's seen them. By the sounds of it, they do some really good work. Probably will fund them, but it'd be good just to see what they'll be using the money for. So can we say deferring, but we're not saying no. Just want to sort of see them and spend a bit of time and maybe see if we can support them with something else as well.
Okay, Councillor Asghar Ali?
Chair, we have exactly the same project that's been running for 2-3 years in Compton Centre. The knitting, the sewing, the ladies are there. We actually fund the materials out of the pot from the Compton Centre. So I'm not quite sure what this is getting or what we're replicating here. To be honest with you, I second Councillor Arif, but I certainly can't see it. No.
Okay. Councillor Martinelli, would you be happy to defer, or do you want to go ahead today?
I mean, this is a really valuable organisation. You know, it is a really valuable organisation providing a really important service to a lot of vulnerable people. The description says in there includes travel. So what they do is they support people coming in who can't afford the bus fare. So people who are really struggling. So to delay would really hurt them.
I suppose what's the quick? Could we take a deferred decision, and if you guys were able to speak to them, can't you, prior to the 4th of July, and then?
I mean, they've operated in the area for a very long time.
Yeah.
They're not a new organisation.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily kind of what the organisation's doing. It's just whether or not we can get consensus to fund them. Stuart, do you want to? What was you?
I think the only thing that I would point out is the time limit. There is the 4th of July on the application for when that. So we can go back to them as a matter of urgency and clarify further information that members may want.
Yeah. Through you, Chair, there's nothing. I'm happy to fund them. I'd just like to go and see the organisation and meet with them. I'm happy to do that next week, just because of the time urgency. Yeah, there's no. I'm sure they're valuable and do some really great work. I've just not come across them. I'm being really honest. So I'd like to go meet them, and then more than happy to get back in touch with officers to sort of hopefully approve this application.
Councillor Khan?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just to echo, and can I suggest that in principle, if Gibton Health councillors approve this, and if you have the conversation with the organisation, an email can go out to all elected members, and then you can approve that way as well. That's another way, quick way to approve the. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, Councillor Moten, are you happy with that? What's been suggested? So what we're suggesting at the moment is the final decision is deferred until Councillor Arif and Councillor Asghar Ali go and speak to the group, and then they will come back and then they will say yes or no. And then it's going to be a full committee decision as to whether or not it gets thumbs up or thumbs down. Yeah. Councillor Arif, would you be able to say by the 2nd?
Yes.
By the 2nd. And then obviously if we don't have a response by that point. Yeah. Okay. So we're happy to defer. Right. On the proviso it's up to the 2nd. Oh, yeah, just a minute that one. Thank you. So, sorry, I've just lost my place. Yes, no, I haven't. So, next up, we have got item number 40, which is Hare Hills Youth Voice Panel, which is from the Council's Youth Service. They've requested £1,000 from Gipton and Hare Hills. Are we happy with that? Yep. Item 41 is Nanu Sports Foundation Awards event, and they've requested £1,000 from Gipton and Hare Hills. Yep, all good. 42 is Invest in Yourself Physical and Mental Wellbeing Conference, and this is a request for £750, 395 from Gipton and Hare Hills, and £355.50 from Round Air. Councillor Sen?
Yeah, I think we, as Rounded Councillors, we'd like to defer this one because we've never heard of these guys, and we have no information as to how this project is kind of linked with Rounded residents and how many Rounded residents are participating in this. I would just like a bit more information about these guys.
Okay, and is that... Yeah, I'll agree.
Just to quickly add, it does say in the bit of information that we do have that it is, whilst it's sort of located, it also does say it's open to everyone. So I'd like to know if they're an applicant, they should have applied at other community committees. That's information we need to know personally.
So, Rob, did you want to...
Yeah, certainly. I'll come back to you with that information and just say across which community committees they have applied to and how many beneficiaries are from your ward. So I'll come back to you on that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it does seem to be taking place in Alice 16, which is Councillor Asghar Ali.
Chair, just number 42. I just want to know how they came about those figures. We've had no contact once again, so I'm quite surprised that they're putting Gipton and Hare Hills at 395.
Just to come in on that, with the figures, with this again, it would have been a small grant. So when it comes in across multiple committee areas, one of the engagement support officers would ask them for a postcode breakdown, and from that we would ascertain how many come from each, and then we would proportion that to each ward. So that's how that's been devised in the report.
Okay. Where are they based, Robbie?
I'd have to come back to you with that information as to where the organisation's based.
Martin?
So has this application gone into other wards besides Gipton and Hales and Roundhay? Which other wards has it gone into?
That's correct. Councillor Martin's raised that as well, so I'm going to come back with that information. I'll just provide a breakdown to members to exactly which ward it's gone to and the splits for each of those wards.
Councillor Sen?
Can I just add, Robbie, when you go back to this group, can you actually ask them what they're going to spend the money on? It doesn't say in the description what the money is going to be spent on unless it's going to be spent on the conference itself.
Yeah, certainly I'll recirculate the application as well. So in there, they will have the financial breakdown within the application.
Okay, so we're all happy to defer that. Yep. Okay. Right. So, item 43 is Leeds City Council Great Get Together in memory of Joe Cox, and the proposal is for £300 from Gipton and Hare Hills. So this was for... So, Councillor Reef?
Yeah, Chair, this is happy to support this. It's going to be at the Whitebeck Centre in Gipton. We are happy to support it.
Okay. Councillor Ali? Yep, okay, all good. Item 44 is Hare Hills Community Matters Fund Day, which is from the Safe Stronger Communities team, and it's a request for up to £1,000 from Gipton and Hare Hills. Yep. Yep, all good. 45 is Hare Hills Park Bridlington trip, which is Hare Hills Park Bowling Club have requested £500 from Gipton and Hare Hills to take members of the community out on a trip to Bridlington.
Sorry, Chair, I'm probably getting sick of me talking, but yeah, no, happy to support this. Hare Hills Park do an immense amount of work, and this is a yearly occurrence for them, and this time they've asked us if we can support them, so happy to do so. And they take local residents, and so it'll be a good trip for them.
Councillor Valley?
I know a lot of attendees come in from outside the area to these trips, so it'd be good to find out if everyone's actually coming from within Gipton and Hare Hills. because if we're funding the whole amount, then it'd be good to know that it is our residents.
Yep. I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, the total project cost is 1280, and the allocation from Gipton from the ward members is 500. So I mean, I can't definitively say that's definitely what's happened.
Yeah, I'm surprised if it was within the same area. I'm surprised that Bermondsey's not included or Seacroft's not included, because I know people from those areas also come into and use it.
Okay. Councillor Asghari?
Chair, the 500 reflects the participants or the children that or families will be going to this. We've seen the numbers, we've had a chat, so we are more than happy to support this, to be honest. And Laura and the team do an outstanding work at Hare Hills Park.
So how do we wish to proceed? Obviously, Councillor Ali and Councillor Arif say yes. Councillor Martinelli, are you happy to approve, or do you want? Sorry, just use your mic as well, please. Sorry.
I'd like to defer for some more information.
Okay, so that's a split decision. Would you guys be willing to defer for more information? Right, okay.
Sorry, Chair, we've met the club and we've talked about this, and as Councillor Ali has said, the 500 is reflective of what the Gipton Hare proportion will be. In that instance, I feel as though we should approve it, and it's summer, and I don't know when the trip is, so I would like to go ahead and approve this, please.
Okay, Councillor Ali, do you want to?
Yeah, I think the same logic applies. The same arguments were made with Ansela before, so it's the same logic. So.
Oh, Councillor Reif?
It's not the same logic because I don't know the organisation.
Okay. Right, well, I mean, I think what we're going to have to do is going to have to take a full committee vote. So all of those in favour of approval, hands up, please. Sorry, colleagues. Approval, yes, no, yeah. Those against? Okay, so that's approved. Right, we're on to LDM basketball. Let's do more. Sorry, This is why I need to start wearing glasses, but I will never wear glasses. He says now. So item 46 is again from Hare Hills Bowling Club, and this is to make it self-sustainable. And they've requested £1,000 from the Gipton and Hare Hills councillors. So this is about helping the club to purchase energy-efficient lighting, heating, and to help maintain the greens by purchasing required equipment. Councillor Reif, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm sure many of you will be aware about the consultation in relation to the bowling greens, and we had again another conversation with them and met with them, and this is something that we think will help them sustain going forward. And again, they are extremely good at getting external funding, and they don't come to us that much, but I think this is just a bit of a help for them. So I think this is another one which we'll certainly be supporting. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Any other?
I think again with the location and the people that use the service, there are people from Bermondsey's and there are people from Seacroft that also come in. So it should really be split across the wards rather than.
Okay, thank you. I think we've got another split decision. So those in favour of approving, can you put your hands up, please? Those against? Okay, thank you. Approved. Switching my microphone off. Right, so item number 47 is LDM basketball, which is Let's Do More Community Interest CIO, and they've requested £559.63 from Gipton and Hare Hills. Any thoughts on this, colleagues?
Chair, I don't know the organisation. I haven't been approached by them. And I'm not sure in terms of basketball. I've not had any local groups approach me about it. So it's a bit difficult for us. We've looked at and we've decided on this one because we don't know the organisation. They haven't been in contact. It's a no.
Okay. Any other comments, Councillor Ali?
I don't know the organisation. I mean, it sounds like a worthy one, but again, I don't know the organisation.
Okay, we will take that as no. Next up is Junior Sports Hub, and they are requesting £5,700 from Gipton and Hare Hills Ward, and this is for a range of activities. Any comments?
Yeah, Chair, we've had a in-depth look at this and the amount of projects that are going on in the holidays. This is a provision that's saying that's going to run for the whole duration of holidays, 4 weeks. There are parents that will go away, children, stuff like this. I can't see a project running for whole 4 weeks. So myself and Councillor Arif have looked at it, discussed it. We really wanted to say no to it, to be honest with you, because there's healthy holidays, there's youth provision, there's other people that are doing stuff. By looking at it, last year we said no to this project, and we finally agreed on £2,500 for this project.
Just to add to that, there's a new funding application or funding stream come through the Clayhole build, specifically for Hare Hill. So what we've said to them is we'll give $2,500 and then they can apply through that as well. So that should top it up for them. Do some brilliant work, happy to support them, go and visit them regularly. So we're definitely going to, from this fund, we'd like to give them $2,500, but then we've pointed them towards an additional fund that's come out specifically for Hare Hills through the Clayhole build, which is something that I chair. So that way that'll top it up for them and hopefully they'll get their funding that way.
Okay. Councillor Martinelli, do you have any comments?
Yeah, they ran the camp last year. They were refused the funding, I think, last year as well. But they ran the camp through external funding, and they did a fantastic job. They ran it the whole summer.
Okay, so you're saying £2,500 for you guys. Councillor Martinelli, would you be happy with 2.5? Full, so you want to go full amount? Okay, Councillor Asghar Ali.
Chair, you see, this is where if they've run a provision from external funding last year and we didn't fund them, so they've run it for the full duration of 4 weeks, and they've run it on other funding. So then, as a committee, as a chair, board member, I'm asking myself a question now that we're actually thinking of funding them £2,500, but they've done it with external funding last year. So what is stopping them doing from that this year?
Right. Okay. So we've got a split decision again. So 2.5. Those in favour of 2,500, can you put your hands up, please? Yeah, colleagues, can we pay attention? 2,500 as suggested by Councillor Reif. Are we happy to support that? Yes. And then full amount. Okay, so it's 2,500. So next item is, I appreciate there's a lot of these. Next item is Your Voice, which is Creative Media CIC. They're requesting £500 from Gipton and Hare Hills. Gipton and Hare Hills colleagues.
We thought this would be £1,000, so I don't know why it says 500, but yeah, happy to support it.
Is that everybody?
Chair, we would like to amend the proposed amount to 1,000 because that's what we thought it was. So Robbie, could we amend that, please? And we agree to 1,000.
I don't know the organisation, and if they've put in 500, I don't see why we should be amending it to 1,000.
Okay. Can we just check, Robbie, why have they...
Yeah, apologies, that appears to have been my error on that. It's £1,000 after reviewing the application that they put in. So apologies for that, that is my error.
Okay, so just ignore what's written in front of you. They are actually asking for £1,000. So, Councillor Asghar Ali, you're yes. Councillor Samarif, you're yes. Councillor Martin?
I'd like to know more about them.
Okay.
So defer from me.
Okay. So that's split decision. Those in favour of going with the full funding allocation, £1,000. Can you see your hands, please? Yes. And those for deferral. Councillor Martin, thank you. So that's approved. Next item is item 50. We are Seacroft from the LS14 Trust. It's your go, John. The next, and this is a ask for £32,500. £32,500, and this covers a range of activity. Seacroft colleagues?
Yeah, very reluctantly, and we've discussed this at great length. We're not going to give them the full amount simply because of budget constraints, and we're going to give them £21,250.
And are you all happy with that? Okay, so 21. Sorry, repeat. Can you repeat the number, please?
21,250.
And
thank you. So next item on the agenda is item 51, Crossgates Over 60s projects. And this is Killingbeck and Seacroft, and they request £3,987. Do you have any comments on that? Are we happy to approve? Or?
Sorry, we're still talking the first one. Are we on over 60s?
Yes.
Yes, we agreed to fund that.
Okay, so yes. 52 is Leeds Irish Arts Foundation, and they've requested £2,920, £1,460 from BRH and £1,460 from Killingbeck and Seacroft. Asgar?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm delighted to approve this as well, Chair.
Okay, so BRH are happy. Killingbeck and Seacroft?
We are offering £500 to this project.
Okay. So full amount from BRH and then 500 from Killingbeck and Seacroft. Item 53 is Climate, Energy and Green Spaces Service, and this is unauthorised vehicle prevention measures in Roundere Park. Amount proposed is 3,000. Yep.
Hi, Chair. Yeah, just with our sort of well-being allocation, can I request that this money comes out of like SIL or something else, if that's okay?
Yes, certainly we'll have to defer. We've not had the SIL figures as per the finance cover report, but happy to take that forward and we can look at approving that. Yeah, that's fine.
One of the others, please. Thank you.
Okay, so that's now, so the 3,000 will come out of SIL rather than wellbeing. Okay, next item is item 54, which is Empowerment Experience from That Name Woman for £900 from Killingbeck and Seacroft. Killingbeck and Seacroft, yay or nay?
Yeah, this is another one that we discussed long and hard, and we're going to have to say no to this one.
Sorry, I'm pressing the wrong button. Yeah, okay, so that's a no on item 54. Item 55 is grip bin refills for Bermondsey and Richmond Hill. So we said £298.71, and I think we're all happy with that. Yep. Yep, and Councillor Manaka, thank you. So that is that. So we're now on to Youth Activity Fund budget position.
Thank you, Chair. Just for the committee to note, Executive Board approved £62,950 for the Inner Reef Community Committee. And then with the following projects are for consideration and approval. The first of which is at 58, which is Breeze in the Park, split across Bermondsey, Richmond Hill, Gibson Harells and Killingbeck and Seacroft. 3,850 for Gibson and Harells, Killingbeck and Seacroft, and with two events in the ward, it's 7,700 for Bermondsey and Richmond Hill. Can I also just note an amendment on this for Killingbeck and Seacroft? The full amount is listed as YAF. However, in our pre-meet with the figures, with the YAF that's been agreed, we would need to move £1,378.50 to wellbeing if members are happy. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Can I just say we thought we were moving all of it to wellbeing.
All of this one.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what it says on the spreadsheet we're looking at.
You
It doesn't.
are
I'm
correct.
not
Yeah,
bothered
sorry,
either
it's
way.
Sorry, it's the full amount. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Bermondsey and Richmond Hill, you're happy with 7-7. Yep. Killingbeck and Seacroft under the proviso it's well-being. Gipton and Hare Hills. Yep. Fab. Councillor Bowden, do you want to...
Yeah, just on some of the other items that we've done similar, Robbie, would you be able to sort of coordinate with our previous localities officer and see what we gave previously to Breeze, and we'd be happy to replicate what we've done previously, if that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, great. So next up is item 59, which is the LS9 Club, which is Dazzle, and it's £4,930 and 20 pence from Bermondsey and Richmond Hill, and we're happy with that. Yep. So 59 rather is approved. Item 60 is Sunday Weekly Youth Club from Junior Sports Hub. Sorry, Councillor Khan.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just on the previous application that we just approved, on behalf of Bermondsey Richmond Hill, myself, Councillor Farley and Councillor Necker, we want to thank Dazzle the Dance. They came to our festival, the Bermondsey Community Festival, and what they're doing is they are getting young people within the ward to, train up, and then they come and demonstrate on the festival. So yes, we are delighted to help.
Brilliant, thank you. I'm just conscious of time, so we are going to try and rattle through these, although I completely agree with what Councillor Khan just said. Item 60 is Junior Sports Hub, and they've requested £7,280 from the Gipton and Hare Hills ward. Colleagues?
Yes, Chair, more than happy to support them. They do some brilliant work, so happy to give them the full amount.
Okay, that's fab. All three, great. Item 61 is We Are Seacroft Youth Activities, and that's a request for £15,580 from the Killingbeck and Seacroft ward.
We have pre-agreed that the total award will be 10,149.
Okay, so you're all happy with 10,000. How much?
149.
Thank you.
Sorry, just an amendment with the previous figure quoted, the £1,387.50. That was in relation to the YAF budget that we previously discussed, which following the previous agreement has reduced slightly. So with that figure, would you be happy if that's come out of wellbeing? Yeah, lovely, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So item 62 is Kentmere Community Youth Theatre, and it's a request from Killingbeck and Seacroft for £5,315. Happy with that?
No, we've had to make a reduction on this one as well, and we're going for 3,986 25 pence.
3,986 and 25. I'm sure you're just making these numbers up.
No, that is 75% of the request.
Great, thank you. So, approved with that number. 63 is Skating Through Summer at Roundhay Skate Park, and the ward's covered a Roundhay amount proposed TBC.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just on this, the participant has provided a list of postcodes from their previous project. Within that, the splits, it will be split across 4 wards, which from this committee will be Killingbeck and Seacroft, £339.39, and Roundhay £775.75. I apologise to members, I only received that information today, so I was just being sent out by email this morning.
Can I just ask it? That's coming to you saying these are the postcodes that will attend.
Okay, so Roundhay it will be £775.75. Are you happy with that? Okay, that's from Roundhay.
£339.39, but that would need to come from wellbeing. If you approve it.
Okay, are we?
Yeah, in the spirit of willing, at 300 and something pounds, yes, but it wasn't. There's no late. Is there any late item paperwork for? It's not on this list, is it?
Yeah. So originally with the application, it didn't actually list Killingbeck and Seacroft.
Yeah.
In the original application, the postcodes came in today, which did show quite a number of beneficiaries from your ward. which is why I've included it for your consideration.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we're all happy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're just going to go through the late items pack. So I understand that the majority of, well, I think all of these are for round day, aren't they? First item is Apna Sports Group, and the request is for 496, but that came from Chapeltown, Moortown, and Roundhay.
Sorry, I've got questions. Speaking to Councillor Martin just previously before, is this 496 directly from Roundhay's contribution, or is that divvied up between three ways?
So this, in effect, it's divvied up from three ways. I believe Zach had a finance meeting previously, and this would have come out the previous area pot. Unfortunately, it didn't get signed off before the AGM, so it's got to come before the committee.
Then may I propose that we take it all en masse, because I know Councillor Martin would have scrutinised everything, so I'm in agreement for all of these going forward. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So the proposal is that we do all of the late items on block because they only impact on the Roundhay ward, and you're all happy with all of them. Great. Right. Well, thank you for speeding up the process. We'll have to do more of that. Okay. Is there anything else on item 14? Okay. So next is item 15. The Councillor Valley.
Sorry, Chair. Did you not get an application from the Bangladeshi Community Centre Leeds for £1,000? Because they've submitted an application form, and I saw it in the papers that Alicia had circulated before. It's a children's and elders trip away in August. I'm just trying to understand where it's gone. Bangladesh Centre Leeds, or Bangladeshi Centre Leeds, BCL. If it's not, Robbie, we'll leave it. We can approve it.
Yeah, if it's a small grant, now we've had the first meeting. I'll speak
we'll
to
be
Alicia,
able
and then we can
approve it.
recirculate
Okay.
that and do it by
No,
email.
okay, all right. Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate that.
Councillor Asghar Ali, can you turn your microphone off? And Councillor Martinelli.
There was an application in from Dance Asia, a local community radio station. I saw it in the emails that Alicia sent out, but I've not seen it since. It's not in the pack.
I suspect that'll be the same. So, Robbie, if you can pick that up. And sorry, Stuart, do you want to?
Just to say, we'll double check, but if these are recent applications, it may well be that she's just following the small grant procedure, which would normally circulated and done outside the meeting, and may well have been circulated after publication of the papers, which is why they're not included.
Okay, so they are going to be circulated via email to members, aren't they?
That's first one.
Great. Okay. So next on the agenda is item 15, which is the date and time of the next meeting. Over to you.
Thanks, Chair. So it's not an agenda item as such in the paper pack. I've just listed it on page E at the start of the agenda pack. The dates are just listed at the front. It's just for members to formally agree the dates that we can get invites sent out. They follow the same pattern on Thursdays at 6 o'clock. Apart from you.
What is it? What page number?
It's item 15 on page E.
It's like page 4, but it's listed as E at the start of the agenda pack. Yeah, them ones. Yeah.
Councillor Martin?
Just a comment about the timings of this meeting. It's one of the things that I asked about during our last pre-meet. These evening meetings really make it difficult for people with parental responsibilities, which is why I was late today. So if anything could be done to accommodate that, that would be really helpful.
Okay. I mean, children are more than welcome to attend the meetings. I appreciate it's not always easy if you've got kids sort of running around, but if you're struggling with childcare, or please do feel free to bring your children along to the meetings. Obviously, it'll be a public meeting. Councillor Khan, Councillor Tudor.
Thank you, Chair. Natasha, the meeting on Thursday, 12th of March 2026, it's going to be a Ramadan month as well. And I was just thinking about the timing at 6 p.m. It could be a bit difficult for that. We might have to change the timing of that meeting. 19th of March. Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
So if we do it for like 2 weeks after, do you want me to send you a date after the meeting and get all members to confirm that date? Is that okay?
Can I suggest also the purdah kicks in as well, so you need to be careful of the purdah as well. On the 25th or 29th, yeah.
I'm sure we can sneak a meeting in before, in between Ramadan and purdah.
Yeah, okay.
We can. Sorry, Stuart.
Just to say, you are allowed to hold formal meetings within purdah of the community committee as a business meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Tudor.
It's just a quick observation, really, that as requests to us are getting bigger and budgets are strained, time and again, the question of how many people in my ward benefit has come up tonight. And so when people put in applications, perhaps from now on, and I'm sure it gets done to some degree, really, I think the first question we should be asking, or one of the first questions, is that question, because it's come up 5 or 6 times tonight. So we don't end up with what happened just now with this skating thing, where that information came in so late that it wasn't even on the late items document, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's noted. Councillor Reith?
Yeah, I think that's a really sensible point you make, Councillor Tudor. And I think to add to that, I think we should also ask, if where possible, to also engage with members, if possible. That way, it's the I don't know this organisation. Many of them we do know, and we know the brilliant work they do. But there are some new ones that come along, and it'd be nice if we could perhaps even have a 10-minute conversation with them, or invite us to any of the events. That way, we can make a decision based on the sort of information we have in front of us, Chair. Thank you.
Councillor Burden.
Hi, yes, Chair. It was just an observation, and thinking about our future meetings and how much time was spent on the funding. I know it's something that we did previously in the former community committee, but we did have a subcommittee finance meeting, which allowed it was one member from each ward. They would be able to go through the applications in more detailed way. And then they would come to the community committee, and then it would be like maybe a 5 or 10 minute item where we all then agree on it. It doesn't have to be obviously agreed today, but I'm just thinking about some of the things that we might want to bring, or people who might want to speak to us. We've got absolutely no time as things currently stand. The only suggestion I could make would be, because previously we had 2 of like the champions roles meetings combined. So if you just give me 1 second, I wrote it down. My suggestion would be we still would keep the health and wellbeing champion, the community safety champion, but we combine the meeting together effectively, where the meeting would have time dedicated that would free up members then to then do the sub-finance meeting. That would we don't have to agree on that today, but it worked really well for us previously.
Okay. What I would suggest is that I'll leave that to the two working groups. On the initial point with regards to finance decisions, ordinarily it's been a bit of a wacky old time with the formation of the new committees, and ordinarily what we would have is I was about to call him Ollie. Old habits die hard. Robbie will be sitting down with you guys prior to the community committee meetings to go through all of the applications, so it will literally be, happy with that, and you'll be given a lot more time to sort of discuss in detail. There've been a lot of new things this evening. I don't anticipate these meetings would last this long as well going forward. Well, I hope they don't going into the future. Robbie, do you want to come in?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Councillor Martin has requested ward meetings, so my recommendation would be that we'll put a finance section in there, and then we'll go through the applications in more detail.
Okay. Do we have any final comments? We're happy with all of the dates, with the exception of the 12th of March, which we will seek to move to after Ramadan, but before Purdah. Right, so I will close the meeting there. That has been quite a tough one, but we've managed to get through it. So thank you all, and I hope we can all have a very successful year serving our communities. Good evening.